Well, I saw you on TikTok and you listed a bunch of emotional abuse things. So basically, people, if you felt a certain way or if they were doing these things that were emotional manipulation, basically. And your list, I had checked off every single one with the current relationship that I was in, and that was just ending. And I realized in that moment that I was significantly trauma bonded. And I know that you talk a lot about abusive relationships, narcissistic abuse, and this trauma bond being incredibly addictive. It's the hardest thing coming out of an abusive relationship to break. And I said that I felt all of these things. You commented back, which I was shocked. Right there, you were lovely and validated how I felt. And then I went and visited your website, and I didn't know anything that you did. I had no idea what you were doing, but because of your knowledge in this field, I was compelled to get myself out of this situation. And I felt like therapists haven't worked. I've been to therapy. I've been in trauma therapy for several years, growing up with a very dysfunctional family, narcissistic mother, narcissistic relationships. This is a pattern and it needed to be broken. So that's how I found you and that's how I sought you out. And as soon as I heard your voice, you just had the most calming, beautiful presence that I was like, I just was drawn to you. Very healing. I think, therapy is great because it validates you and you understand why that your brain operates the way that it does, why you struggle, why you have these patterns. I mean, it's very evident. Therapy, you're able to dissect all of that, but it doesn't change the behavior of the patterns. I still have been meeting and getting into toxic, abusive relationships because there's something very deep. I even tried a therapy called Lifespan, which was to go heal your inner child through all the trauma and all of the abusive situations. And it was great to get me past the anger towards my parents and some of the things that happened in my childhood and growing up, but it didn't heal much of anything. And there was still something inside of me that hadn't been worked on. And that's what I'm saying, that therapy, just talking about it, isn't working, right? It makes you understand why you are the way you are, but it does not change the patterns. Years ago, once when I had an eating disorder, I went to a hypnotherapist and I felt that was the first time I ever kind of experienced inner child stuff. But I was very young, I was 20. And I mean, I'm now 42. So it was a very long time ago. I'd undergone hypnosis and I didn't really even know if I trusted that it worked at the time. And I didn't know much about hypnosis. And um, this, like I said, the therapy's not working. So there has to be another way. There has to be another way to really get inside of my head and try to sort this stuff out. It's incredible. I think the first session I had with you was the most mesmerizing, unbelievable, crazy thing when we first had our consult and then you realized that you were able to do this form of this treatment or this therapy or whatever you'd like to call it, this system. And that I was accessible, like my subconscious was, you were able to access it. But the first session I had with you where you told me to bring up the worst pain or the worst feeling I ever had, and because I was going through this breakup with this person, it wasn't hard to access. And that awful black hole, terrible feeling of rejection and lack of self-worth and not good enough was so painful. And then you did your thing, you got inside there, we talked and it was just instant. And when I came out of it and you said, now try to go back and feel those feelings. And I couldn't go back to feel that pain. I still haven't been able to go back and feel that pain. And we've had a few sessions since just to make sure that because I've had some stubborn crew members on there, but I still haven't been able to go back and access that pain. It was just the most mesmerizing thing I've ever experienced in my life. And that right there, I knew, I'm like, there's something to this. This just is huge. It's huge. Like $1 million. And I mean, like, honestly, like practicing going in, doing some self-meditation, journaling, I still have to do all the work, but it's backing up this letting go of this contract of my subconscious. So it just is so unbelievably powerful, and it's night and day, and you don't even undergo full on hypnosis. So it's not the typical, you have to do it for 35 minutes to an hour and be in this deep state of, hypnosis. It's very quick. It's very interesting how quickly you can tap into the subconscious mind with being coherent. So I still don't really understand how that all works, but all I know is that the feelings that I've had my entire life are now gone. It's unbelievable. Like, unbelievable, like night and day how you feel coming out. Yeah. Just moving forward, being happy and healthy with my girls, my children, moving forward with my business, gaining and garnering healthy and good friendships, and honestly knowing my boundaries and understanding like I just won't be attracting these types of people into my life anymore because I've severed these contracts of my own self-belief and different things that I've believed in about myself my entire life. And it's just exciting. It's so exciting to move forward, feeling so different on such a different level, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking forward to. And then eventually one day just attracting the right kind of person into my life and being in a very different dynamic. But yeah. Yeah. Oh well, this is unbelievable. I feel like in the movement of mental health and people struggling with, it doesn't matter what it is. Mine specifically is an abuse situation with toxic relationships, but there's people who have addictions and people who have different things that I believe that this treatment or this therapy could work for. It's life changing. It's revolutionary, and I think there's going to be more of the mental health world, even in psychology, and psychologists and therapists are going to jump on the bandwagon with this treatment because as I've experienced trauma therapy, which has been very helpful in recognizing why I am the way I am, it hasn't changed my behavior. And this has actually changed my behavior and the way that I truly actually see myself and feel about myself. And that's just it. Not to discredit therapists at all. I mean, they're there for very specific reasons and they're very helpful, but the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars I've spent in therapy and not feeling like I'm getting anywhere at all. And yeah, it's great to vent and talk about my feelings. It doesn't change anything. So this is completely different. And I feel like every single person in the world needs this. Every person on the planet could use this form of self-work, so to speak, or to, break this subconscious contract that we all have from a very young age. And Claire is probably one of the most qualified, but just the best person to do this based on her kindness, her heart, and her lack of judgment, and her just caring and wanting to help people. So she is better than the therapists I've had. Let's just put it that way.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you so
welcome.
much.
Yes, I want to scream it from the rooftops, and I want to share you with every person I know. And so there I will, and you will, yeah, you will flourish for sure. This has been incredible. It's been an incredible journey, and it's fascinating to learn about how this all works.
Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. And I want to hear from you when you've blocked him and just walked away and that feeling of power. So let me know, keep me posted how it's going.
Well, absolutely. So for all of you that are listening to this, don't waste another second. Just jump on the bandwagon with her. She will do everything in her power to help you, and she will not give up on you. So just be open-minded and stick with it. Stick